Yo, folks, we're back with another episode of The Drive In. Just a little quick special one. Oh, you got the shirt. You found it.
Only the OGs have the shirt. Only the true XFL Gym Underworld fans have the shirt.
I should start selling it. I don't know.
It's one of the comfiest shirts I own. It's super soft.
It's a good shirt. It's a good quality shirt. It's one of my favorite ones that I have too.
I'm showcasing the back of this shirt specifically because one of the movies that we will be reviewing today is The Big Lebowski, a movie that has, had such a profound effect on Jim here. Jim has sort of modeled a lot of his online persona after the dude, and rightfully so. One of the more legendary characters in all of cinema.
Easily my favorite movie of all time.
And I'm so happy to be reviewing it. We're just
in honor of that. So we're reviewing The Big Lebowski and Drive. Honor, we can start with The Big Lebowski and honor that. This is what I'm drinking, Christian.
Oh, there you go.
Little Sioux City sarsaparilla. It's a good sarsaparilla.
You got a good sarsaparilla.
Sioux City sarsaparilla?
Yeah, it's a good one.
That is awesome. The Big Lebowski, yeah, let's jump right into it.
So, Coen Brothers, this is post-Fargo.
And the Coen Brothers, I just need to say, is like, they're in some ways like peak comedy. Like, the comedy that they put on the screen is just perfection. It's subtle, it's not subtle. It's just like, at times it feels like you're almost watching like a Seinfeld sketch.
Yep.
Like, it's just like talking about Chinamen or whatever it is, like getting fucked in the ass or like whatever it is. It's just like, it's so good.
And the way they can do it where everything feels like it's natural, but also improv, but everything is meticulously written down, because all of the actors have mentioned, like, no, none of that is improv. None of the Big Lebowski is improv. It is all beat for beat what the Coens write, because I've heard in interviews, and the Coens love to do everything on a beat. They keep everything going at a certain pace. I love it. I love the way the movie, like, you just dive into these characters' lives for a little bit. You get a full grasp of every character. Even a lot of the side characters, you get like a full depth of them. And then you're just out.
I agree. I've heard that the Coen Brothers, I don't think they do like any impromptu whatsoever, like very, very, script driven, which is like more power to, all the actors that are able to just go solely off the script and like memorize all their lines. The performances in this like run super deep. Like literally everybody in this is so good.
Does this keep the track record of us loving almost every movie we've seen with Philip Seymour Hoffman in it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was what I was going to open with. I was going to say Philip Seymour Hoffman, just because I'm so biased. But he is in my top 5 actors of all time. I think he's just an incredible actor. I think he plays the perfect like nervous Nelly character, like his interaction with the dude, and then Lebowski's wife saying he'd suck him off. Like the whole back and forth with him standing there is hilarious. And I think he's essential to the plot. And there's just John Turturro's so good. The guy who plays the dude's landlord, he's hilarious.
Amazing.
He's so funny. He's in there's also another movie called Love Liza, which is Philip Seymour Hoffman and him together. They're the two main leads. And I don't know, I think it was made afterwards, so I think they like the pairing of seeing them in the Coen Brothers movie, but incredible. Is it Julianne Moore? Is that? I always mix them up. Julianne Moore, incredible. Can't obviously overlook Jeff Bridges and John Goodman. They're wonderful.
And like Steve Buscemi just is like his little bits here and there. Even just like a lot of the extras, like just the guy bowling in the intro when they introduce like John Turturro's character, the guy who does the little shuffle after he gets the strike.
Yes.
I just love every bit of detail put into the movie. So when I moved to Los Angeles for the first time, I didn't have internet for 2 weeks. So all I had was the Blu-ray of The Big Lebowski. I just watched it on repeat over and over and over again. It's just also, you get like just such a profound feeling of LA too with it. It's one of those movies too that's like you just really get a feel for the city.
I agree. I think it does an excellent job of like showcasing the scenery and just sort of what actually is going down behind closed doors, and a lot of driving, a lot of here and there, point A to point B. Another great performance, Sam Elliott, just like the
Oh
OG,
yeah.
the goat. Like absolutely loved him. And I have ADHD. What is the Western I'm thinking of, Jim, with Sam Elliott in it?
Him and
With Val Kilmer.
yeah. Why am I blanking on it too?
These are my two favorite Sam Elliott performances. This and
Tombstone.
Tombstone. Yeah,
Tombstone.
wonderful performance in Tombstone in this as well. Like it's almost like meta. Like his whole character is just so meta, and like seeing him and like his conversation with the dude at the bar, it's just like it's excellent, man. It's a tough movie to hate or like have any real qualms with.
For me, especially too, like the more I've watched it, the more I've liked it. Because there's stuff you pick up on that you don't notice your first time watching, and movies like that are a damn treat.
I agree. I'm not sure if I had to pick like my favorite. My favorite part might be John Goodman's role.
But just because we're bereaved doesn't make us sad, sir.
Like I think he makes me laugh so much throughout the film. And I love all the quotes about Nom. Like those are honestly like some layered. When you get down to the root of the Nom, it's like, okay, yeah. I mean, there were no rules like in Nom. It's like, wow, it's a good point. And you gotta love Jeff Bridges as well. I mean, if we all had the patience that the dude like personifies having patience. Like if I could just go through my daily routine as unfazed as he is, I would just pay like a lump sum to the government every year.
He gets a lump sum because I think he's on welfare.
Jeff Bridges?
No, the character.
Oh yeah. I was like,
no, if I could live Jeff Bridges' life, I would pay a very large sum of money.
Oh yeah, and then it's cool reviewing this recently because I saw that I guess it was John Goodman that got the Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame, and Jeff Bridges spoke at his induction, and he wore the actual top that he wore as the dude, and it was a very wholesome moment. John Goodman like shouting, "Dude!" and I was like, "Ah, oh, man, I remember the past." Do you remember the past?
Yeah, you guys remember nostalgia?
It's the reason why all the fucking movies nowadays suck and all the music sucks. It's too much. It's too much sampling. It's too like right now. I think we're in like an '80s renaissance where like a lot of movies and like a lot of shows, like a Stranger Things. I mean, you do get something like Top Gun, which was excellent, but a lot of stuff is just so rooted in nostalgia and remakes. And it's like, who needed a remake? We already spoke about this of Willy Wonka.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
We didn't need a remake of that, honestly.
And speaking of that, like a few years ago, I believe a couple of people were trying to get like a Jesus like mini movie or something for the Jesus character of the Big Lebowski. I was like, no, not every movie needs an extended universe or sequels or something. Some things are just good the way they are.
Yeah, it's the effects of people wanting to make as much money as possible, and I guess you could also throw Marvel in the mix, just the superhero complex, and just trying their hardest to like pack out theaters because Tom Cruise saved cinema. But
well, everything's trying. Like after Barbie's huge success, now Hasbro's like the Hasbro extended universe. All their different markets are gonna they're gonna do film franchises and blah 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 blah. Just, no.
And that's a complete misread where it's like Barbie was such a success. Like, I wonder why it was such a success. It's like, we need to make more movies about toys. It's like, you need to make more movies that are centered around women, that have like a lot of women actors where like the women outnumber the men. It's like when they asked Jordan Peele, like, would you ever cast a white actor as the lead in your movies? And he was like, absolutely not. He's like, just because I've seen those movies my whole fucking life. Like, I think he did say the F word. He's like, I've seen those movies my whole fucking life. Like, I know what those movies are. Like, I want to do something different. It's like, more power to him. Make movies with a ton of women. I'm all for it. I don't think we need like a Polly Pocket movie or like anything in that vein.
Shoots and Ladders, the movie, baby, coming up.
Yeah, Muck from Candyland. There's the brown Muck guy. Yeah, we need to get his backstory. We need Joaquin Phoenix to do a method acting role as Muck from Candyland.
Jesus Christ.
The Big Lebowski, incredible. really rewatchable. I think I've seen it 3 times in my life. My last rewatch would have been about a month and a half ago. And I certainly recommend it to, like, I mean, if you love the Coen brothers, you love sort of like ensemble casts, and just the humor in it it's this and God, dude, I'm blanking today. The other Coen brothers film with fucking George Clooney, man.
Oh brother, where art
Oh
thou?
brother, where art thou? Those are probably my 2 favorite Coen brother like humor side of things.
Yes,
I think it just edges it out, but that one also very, very good.
I think I'm with you there. Those are both great movies. Also, just insanely great, just fun watches. Big Lebowski, favorite movie of all time. Hard to be objective about it. I put it up as the best Coen Brothers movie, even though, like, if I take off my goggles, maybe Fargo.
Yeah, I think Fargo has sort of cemented itself. I think a lot of people, it got the show made for it. I believe that's in the IMDb top 100 films of all time. I think it's in the Rotten Tomatoes one, or maybe it's only in one and not the other. But I think, and it's a short film. I think it's fine. Upon rewatch, I didn't love it quite as much as something like this.
I have not rewatched it.
Yeah, or Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Those 2 for me.
Oh, No Country for Old Men totally is also.
Yeah, No Country for Old Men. I mean, that's sort of, that varying lead.
I could jerk off the Coen brothers for like an hour, but Christian,
we forgot that.
The other movie we wanted to talk about today is a movie that I feel like we've talked about just tangentially for a long time. I think before we even started doing the drive-in, last Memorial Day, not this one, not 2023, but 2022 Memorial Day, when I tried to drink a shitload of beers and had you on the show, I was like, hey, I was drunk as hell. I showed the entire intro to Drive on stream, got banned on YouTube for 2 weeks, but I just love the movie so much. I love the music. What was Ryan Reynolds before? Sorry, what the fuck? What was
Gosling?
What was Ryan Gosling before Drive? I always viewed him as like a rom-com guy.
Yeah.
And then the movie came out, and I don't know, it blew me away. I was one of those film bro, like, in love with Drive guys.
I mean, arguably, I mean, it's up there. It's in my top 5 like favorite intro scenes of all time. It just paints the scene of the movie so well. It paints the scene of the main character, the protagonist. It paints the scene of LA and everything. I mean, I really fucking dig the synthwave soundtrack. It's so good. You got like the 80s city pop vibes going. Like it's just incredible. There's something about you. It's hard to explain. Like it's so fucking good. Yeah, I mean, the intro just had me hooked. Watching it there and then seeing it actually, I'm like, this is fucking epic.
Yeah, I love the movie. Bryan Cranston does an awesome job as like the sort of scumbag father figure, sort of.
That's got to be his best, like, outside of probably my favorite outside of Breaking Bad performance. Now, Malcolm in the Middle came first, but like post Breaking Bad, this is probably my favorite Bryan Cranston performance. This movie almost operates like I liken it to like a soap opera.
Yeah,
it's just like at times, because it's like you don't really know what you're watching. Like I remember the first time I watched it, I had no fucking clue, not in a bad way, what was going on. The tone of it, tonality wise, it changes completely. Like you're watching this and you're like, okay, Ryan Gosling is the most interesting man in the world. He talks with such, very little vocabulary.
He says maybe like 100 words the entire movie.
And it adds, it's like, this is cool, okay? And then you get like these fucking graphic scenes. And I'm like, there's a particular scene in a house, and it's like the first graphic scene. And I'm like, this is insane. I'm like, I cannot believe they just showed that, and like this is where this is going. Like this is unbelievable. that scene, and then there's another scene where there's oh my god, there's just a couple that just absolutely blew my mind how graphic they were. Yeah.
And it adds, like, the color grading and everything for the movie adds to it, I feel, too.
Correct. And there's a scene where it involves somebody's wrists, and that one, I was just like, whoa! I'm like, that looks fucking awful. Like,
yeah,
it's epic. I love the soundtrack. It's grown on me since. Like, it's great upon rewatch. You know, you gotta dig, like, the slow-mo montages and, like, you know, riding in the car to Real Human Being, and like, this is it, man. This is it. So
I looked up Kavinsky and everything, the guy who did most of the soundtrack. He did the opening song and all that. Oh my god, anytime the Drive soundtrack in particular, but anything like that, when you're driving, and specifically when I was driving in LA at like 2 a.m, dude, you're gonna feel like the Drive guy. You're gonna feel like Ryan Gosling and Drive. It's the best feeling in the world.
You absolutely have to have, like, a cigarette, or you have to have the gloves on.
A toothpick or something. You had to have something in your mouth.
I am excited. I mean, this Halloween, I think I'm going as Ryan Gosling from Drive. I'm all but positive. My girlfriend wants to go as Barbie, and I'm like, that would be, like, really, like, comical for you to go as Barbie, and the comment is something like, you know, I said I was going for Barbie as Halloween, and like, I told him to be Ryan Gosling, and it's like, I listened, like, I went as Ryan Gosling, just not from Barbie. I went as fucking
Ryan Gosling from Drive.
and looking into now, I haven't seen, other than, I mean, I've seen Only God Forgives, but I haven't seen The Neon Demon yet, and I haven't seen yet another movie come out in 2022 called, like, The Touch of Crude, I think. But this is sort of I think maybe a one-hit wonder for this director.
It's Nicholas Winding Refn, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
From what I've
Gibbs was okay.
That's what I've heard. Like, I've heard he just kind of, like, he seemed to have struck lightning in a bottle here. He seems to try and want to do the same thing every movie, but it just, I don't know. It's just like he found it here, and from what I've heard, it doesn't hit nearly as good in any of his other movies.
The color grading is you know, an essential theme throughout Only God Forgives, and then also The Neon Demon, and then also Drive. So, like, he has that going for him, like, you know, very good blues, very good purples, very 80s city pop vibes, got the synthwave soundtrack going. But in terms of the subject matter, it's just like night and day, like, can't emulate Drive. Oh man, you know, we are Ryan Gosling, and like, this is such a fucking Sigma male kind of movie, and like, I just embrace my love for it. Like, I can't stop loving the movie. I have nothing but amazing things to say about the movie. I'd recommend this to, honestly, pretty much anybody.
I'd recommend it to anybody, and I will also mention, I remember when, like, this movie was first coming out in, like, the early 2010. Yeah, 2011. Yeah. Like I was in high school and whatnot. They advertised this sort of as, like, they tried, because Fast and Furious was big at the time, so they tried to advertise this like a action-packed, like, action movie with Ryan Gosling. And I feel like because there was a lot of people in at least the area that I was in that were disappointed and didn't like it before I saw it, and it was kind of turning me off of it. If you go in with the mindset that they were trying to, like, push in the trailers and whatnot, you're gonna be disappointed. It's not that kind of movie.
Oh yeah, if you're expecting like a Fast Five kind of blockbuster thing, you will be sadly mistaken. It is certainly, you know, it's a lot more layered than that, and I think it's way better than just like a mindless action flick. But I agree. I missed at the time, like, when it was opening, I wasn't like as big of a film buff as I was, like, say 5 years later. But missing that rollout, you know, I kind of wish I could go back and be fooled, like, positively fooled in that way. Also, shout out to, I believe it's either Casey or Carrie Mulligan, who was in The Great Gatsby, who plays the love interest. I think she's, like, super cute, and, like,
she's awesome.
She plays like that, a really good, like, she just looks like she could play like a woman in like the 50s. Like I think she just emulates like the kind of like 50s 40s vibe in the face. And then shout out to fucking Ron Perlman, who's really good in this. And Ron Perlman's like a guy's guy. Like Ron Perlman like went online and like threatened the CEO of Netflix personally. It was like, we know your fucking address, like literally making threats. Shout out to Ron Perlman, like huge badass. Love him. He's excellent.
Oscar Isaac, good.
Oscar Isaac as well. You know, shout out to Poe Dameron. He was really solid in this. Kind of wanted to punch him in the face, but for better or for worse, he played his part really well.
I love this movie so much.
I love Drive.
Also, I don't know. I would argue. So people like I've heard people say we don't have movie stars anymore like we used to back in the day. I would argue Ryan Gosling's a star, like a movie star.
Ryan Gosling is super likable, and I think he's an agreeance point for both men and women. Where like women love Ryan Gosling, and men also love Ryan Gosling even more, I would argue. So I think he has every right to like take that claim as like he's certainly branched out like in the way that Matthew McConaughey has. Where you know I read Matthew McConaughey's book Greenlight, which I would recommend to anybody as well. A wonderful read. I bought it while drunk in a Barnes & Noble, but I don't regret it. He had the same problem of like being typecast in the same kind of movies, and then like once he got the script for Dallas Buyers Club and like lost all this weight, he won the Academy Award. Then he got cast in True Detective. It's like certain people just need certain roles, and like before Drive, you're right. I mean, I knew him as the guy from The Notebook, and then he was also in the movie about the mannequin or like the fake girl, Lars and the Real Girl. But I didn't even know the title of the movie. I'm just like, this guy, whatever. But no, this is it. This is the movie. It's so good, and he's obviously excellent. Why do I always mix it up? I'm gonna gun to head. It's the
Nice Guys.
Nice Guys. Yep, it's not the other guys. The other guys is Wahlberg. Yep. It's the Nice Guys. He's
amazing. Great in that. If you haven't seen that, check that out. Our watch along for that. It's wonderful. He's great in La La Land. He's good in La La Land, and I mean, I love him in Blade Runner too.
I have yet to see Blade Runner 2049. I do look back on the first Blade Runner, and it's sort of a dud for me. Where like when I look at like the titans of sci-fi, when I look at like you know like the aliens, the 2001: A Space Odyssey, Empire Strikes Back, Terminator, I just don't think it holds up as well as like those other four. I did like the Tears in the Rain quote being forgotten, like that's fire. But I'm hoping, I think there's a strong likelihood I prefer the sequel to the original.
I prefer the sequel to the original, and that also just mainly has to do. I mean, Denis Villeneuve is like one of the best directors working today.
Yeah, agreed. He's underrated. And yeah, you touched on La La Land. I just learned me and Sebastian's theme on piano, so I'll be posting that online very soon. Difficult song to play. Very proud of learning it. It had such an impact on me. I cried watching La La Land. I've now seen it twice. I cried both times. I just fucking who doesn't like Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling?
I love
Stalin.
It.
Like Saddam Hussein. That's a good circle back moment. Saddam Hussein
probably
is in the Big Lebowski.
It is probably Saddam. Also, shout out, Crazy Stupid Love's just a very dumb, fun movie that both, just to your point, has Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone.
Crazy Stupid Love is a good movie. That's one that I watched for the first time ever fairly recently, and the comedy in that is really funny. The constant references to the guy that slept with Steve Carell's wife throughout the movie. They drop his name like 1,000 times. So yeah, I endorse any movie with Ryan Gosling and Philip Seymour Hoffman. That's pretty much.
I'll honestly probably also endorse any movie with Jeff Bridges. I don't know if I've seen a movie with Jeff Bridges that I've disliked.
I have to see. Is it True Grit?
Loved True Grit. Okay, True Grit, one of my favorite Western movies of all time.
Wow, that's a bold claim.
It's so good, dude. I love it. Obviously, I love it more than the original.
I I just got Jeff Bridges mistaken with Mickey Rourke. I was going to say the wrestler. That is Mickey Rourke. The Wrestler, incredible movie though. If no one's seen the Wrestler,
Also incredible.
Um,
Hell or High Water. He's great in that.
good movie. Good movie.
Oh, here's one. R.I.P.D. Hate that movie. That's a bad movie.
Have not seen that.
Liked him in Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Jeff
Yeah.
Bridges in Iron Man.
Strong.
Tron 1 was good. Tron Legacy is an movie that he's in, and it's whatever.
I still have yet to see that. My girlfriend did say it was not very good.
And I haven't seen a lot of his older movies.
Mr. Bridges, yeah. Does he have a? He doesn't have a Best Actor Academy Award, does he? Unless he won it for True Grit.
I don't know if he has a nomination. Oh, he's won one Oscar. I'm looking it up right now. I'm on IMDb. If it loads. Yeah. True Grit. No, Crazy Heart. 2010.
Dang, never seen that. Crazy Heart.
Is it where he plays a country singer? Yep. That sounds good because he does country music.
Yeah, no, for sure. He wears his personality on his sleeve. He just seems like an overall very chill guy to communicate with. I'd love to hang out with Jeff Bridges for sure. I don't know if you'd like to hang out with me though. That's okay.
I'd love to hang out with both Jeff Bridges and Ryan Gosling.
I agree.
Just throwing that out there.
I'd love to see an actor roundtable of like the actors, the prominent actors in Drive and the Big Lebowski, just be able to have them at the actors roundtable just so they could sort of pick each other's brain.
Damn, I also just realized we both talked about like two very LA movies too.
Yeah, true. It's like in some way the pipeline there, we do have common ground with the two movies. And excellent. I love Drive. I love the Big Lebowski. What else?
I co-sign. Love them both. Go watch them, people. Let me see where they're available. I don't know if they're on any.
The Big Lebowski is no longer on any streaming services.
It comes and goes. I don't think Drive is either right now.
Yeah,
neither of them are on any streaming services. You got to
Big Lebowski. You can purchase on YouTube for like $4.12, which is probably
same thing with Drive.
Yeah, it's a shame, but they'll get picked up soon, I'm sure. Drive feels like it should be like maybe a Netflix staple. Maybe like a Prime.
I was gonna say like it feels like an Amazon Prime thing somehow.
Yeah.
Big Lebowski comes and goes on Netflix every once in a while.
Yeah,
it'll be on Netflix for like a month or two, and then dip, and then come back.
I dip, you dip, we dip.
But any other takes, Christian?
Dune 2 got delayed, and I don't give a fuck because the first one was super boring, and it was just giant trailer for the second one, and they acted like Zendaya was gonna have a huge role, and she didn't.
That's another thing with the advertising being bullshit.
Yeah,
because I thought the movie was fine. It was not Dennis's best work.
They fucked the whole rollout up. For the first one and the second one. The second one now has had like 2 trailers drop, and I think tomorrow they're doing like a major magazine cover, and they just announced they're delaying it. So you just got to pay people, folks. We need to pay people.
Pay the writers.
Pay the writers. We stand with them.
Damn right. All right. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time for the drive-in. Toodaloo.